I would like to welcome my guest, Dima Faur Klingbeil, PhD. She is a lecturer, researcher, academic author, and mainly an expert in food safety management and regulatory system, a food editor. I hope I introduced you well, Dima.
Well, you did more than well. Thank you, Barsha.
So yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to know more about you as a
Mm.
person so that my viewers will know more about you. Just go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Barsha. You actually provided a very nice introduction about me. That's more than well and good. Um, yeah, so I am an academic researcher. I'm engaged in research in food safety and currently a lecturer in food safety and regulation and food laws. That's a program for the Master of Food Science between the Deutsche Institute for Lebensmitteltechnik and the University of Veterinary Medicine in Hanover. So that's a joint program where I'm delivering this course for the master students. And I'm running my own business, which is the DFK for Safe Food Environment. That's my baby.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Yeah, so I'm the principal consultant and I'm the business owner of this work.
That's great. Tell us more about your company, how you started or how you thought of starting your
Oh.
own business and how was the journey about this?
Yeah, that wasn't easy because I moved to Germany. So I had to find and navigate my way and to start up all over again. I mean, it's kind of like someone told me, I'm taking a course. We're almost done with it. It's coaching.
Mhm.
So in one of the coaching session, I've heard someone telling me that you kind of being born three times. One time when I was born,
Mhm.
the second when I moved to another totally different country to have to start all over again. Um, and the third when I had to restart when I lost my husband. So, it's all like a rebirth.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that wasn't easy because you moved where you don't have all the necessary tools and support and know-how to know the system and how to find your way. And don't forget the language. You know that you live here.
Yes, yes.
It's a very challenging situation.
Mhm.
So the first thing I've done is I wanted to find where I fit with all the strong points I have and the weaknesses. So the weakness was very clear. The language to the level which can afford me to um, establish a strong network in a time which is efficient. You need so much time when you don't have language um, and then beside the learning, I was in Germany before, we lived here before, but there was the transition. We have been relocating from time to time from one country to another. So I didn't practice my language and then we had to come back. And this is where I thought, okay, I'm taking this again. And then I I kept myself engaged in my research. That was the year I finished my PhD, and it was actually the same month I've defended my PhD. It was that month we had to relocate and change and move to Germany. So I kept myself engaged in research, and that's very important because it gave me the exposure I need, and it led me to have that idea to get into the assisting the market in Germany, the food industry that would have activities, exports to the US, or even to the other part of the world when they would need support when it comes to regulatory compliance. So then I started to take my steps and prepare for this. I prepared by taking the necessary course and to have the lead instructor eligibility, and then the next step was to establish the business. And the only way I thought that I know how to do this is simply take the phone and call and ask how to do it. And who you would ask here in Germany is the Finanzamt, the
Mhm.
finance. So I called them. I had an appointment, and they were extremely helpful and lovely. They were even for those very technical terms when it comes to tax and whatever it is, they were all English for me, and they have guided me step by step. And then the second step is I contacted the Chamber of Commerce. And meanwhile, I was making all these contacts, universities, Chamber of Commerce, certification bodies, introducing myself, whatever I do, how can I help? Eventually, Barsha, you would have a feeling like things are not moving, but it's actually preparing. It was really, everything was getting prepared. And I remember I contacted one of the very well-known certification bodies that beside whatever I can offer them, I thought like maybe we can communicate and do some sort of activities, like if not auditing, anything I can support with my expertise. But that language was an issue. But eventually the first client came from them.
Mhm.
And then the next step was the Chamber of Commerce invitation to collaborate for another together through seminars. And that was have afforded me a great networking with the food industry in Hanover and outside Hanover, because they were coming to Hanover for these activities, seminars on exports to the US. And here it is, it started to move and to get the momentum, you know, and that's where I started to put one step after another, and I continued. So that's how it started, all of it, Barsha. And in parallel, I kept myself engaged in research because that's something I love, and I find myself quite in it. And eventually, it led as well to the opportunity to have this lecturing opportunity in English program after waiting many years. I was like, you don't believe how many universities I've been in contact with, and I know that it's not always easy to find a university which is not like 6 hours away from you. And I have two kids, and I don't want to be, I want to be in control of my time. So basically, yeah, that's how it works. It just needs times and things start opening up. Important is you keep moving, and that's what I did here in Germany.
Thank you so much. The way you explain exactly what the new entrepreneurs would want to do or wanted to know about how to start their own business,
Mm,
exactly give us the steps how we can
mm,
move forward in terms of starting our own entrepreneur journey. That's great.
mm.
That's really interesting. And it's, yeah, it's just as you said, it's not easy here in Germany because of language problem. We have that barrier, and we that is a most difficult barrier we need to overcome. And yeah,
And
so
don't
is
forget, Barsha, that beside the language, you have a lot of bureaucratic aspect that you need to
yes,
understand, and to the taxing system and the administrative and the
yes,
responsibilities and the insurance. There are many, many, many things. And but they would sound to be overwhelming. But as you actually put the plan and reach out to the responsible people and say, I need help, just knock on those doors and keep knocking, and you will find the help. um, it's just don't sit back and get overwhelmed with these stuff. It's really very easy if you understand the system and you start getting involved in reading about this, even in its language. So that's now, for me, everything that seems to be difficult in the past, for me, that's really now different, easy. Well, not easy, but still, it's it's better. I can deal with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So please give a small message to the young entrepreneurs, not only in Germany, in the worldwide.
Uh-huh.
What is the thing that they must have there inside them to start a career or a
Mm.
entrepreneurship in a entrepreneurship?
Well, I may not be an entrepreneur who's to be classified as someone who did a very, I don't know, big invention or whatever, but as someone who have who has a business that is going on okay, and it's moving. And from my learning, one of the advice I would give, even if it was for my kids who would probably want to be entrepreneur, is to always keep working on improving their knowledge, because the competence and the knowledge and not to be driven by titles. I mean, it's not about title. It's not about throwing big words in promoting the businesses and the product. It's actually what stands behind that titles. Our identity is what we know, more than that little wording of, titles and big ones. So working on that knowledge, enhancing that knowledge, keep learning, having curiosity to look broader into your field, have the vision, what are the changes coming in the field, so that we keep being upfront of those information. That is important for any person who wants to establish business and make sure that this business keeps going and have a proper client base. And I think another important thing from my learning is how important it is to invest in the interpersonal skills. I mean, invest in learning how to communicate, the communication skill is important in the way you approach client. It's important to be confident, but sometimes, for instance, overconfidence can be really can mess it up.
Yeah.
Or, someone might call you to have a meeting, and then he's just walking in the park because he's a CEO. I mean, there are ways to communicate and to have analytical skills and presentation skills. These are important tools for people to build businesses, and that would also help them to navigate difficulties and difficult characters, and people are not the same. Sometimes we have to learn how to communicate and read emotions. So basically, to sum it up, this kind of cultivating in self-awareness, to know where are your strengths, use them, and where are your weaknesses, admit them, and work on them. It's important not to look only on our strong points, rather where are we weak in our field, and let's work on it. So that's what I apply even to myself.
Yeah, so when I look back, the way we connected, it was like we both were from biology or background, science background, and I wanted to work together with you, and then we connected, and it was my feeling was I wanted to blend the science with life inspiration. My mission is everyday's inspiration, to share the information of life is beautiful, and everything can inspire us. So I would like to know from you the work you do of uh, food safety and its contribution. What is it? How it can contribute to make this world a happy and healthy place in terms of the food safety field.
Well, you see, the world can be a happy place. It's the way we deal with the world, or how do we look at whatever we receive in the world. There is no ultimate, there is no happiness all the time. But what you've mentioned is really important, is that in a way, it's true that food and food safety is a very integral and important part of our health and of the public health in general. So it's actually one of the major concern when it comes to the number of people being affected by foodborne disease. So not long time ago, it was only a couple of days ago, 7 June, when we had the World Food Safety Day, and we were so many in the field, and so many organizations were campaigning about the importance of food safety. It is because as we learn from Hippocrates, when he says, let the food be your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, there is no food that is unsafe and is nutritious or would make anybody happy, because when we are exposed to disease via food contamination, that is actually causing a burden on the public health, a burden on us as people affected by the disease, on our productivity, or even it can lead even to death and severe, sometimes cases there are severe side effects, and all this can create damages to people life and to our societies when it comes to public health. So food safety is certainly a very important subject, a very important aspect in our life, and safe practices and safe handling of food is the responsibility of everyone, starting from home, we as people who are dealing with the food, and for everyone who's handling food and serving it to people, be it your visitor or be it a food business or food industry. All this, they have a responsibility to ensure the safety of food so that everybody is happy, everybody is healthy. You know, happiness is relative, but we know that this is linked to being healthy. When you don't have a good health, we're not happy, and that's common sense.
Mhm. So what inspires you or what drives you in your everyday if everyday plans regarding your company, regarding your career? What inspires you?
Um, so basically, it is beside that I love the science of food microbiology, and I've loved it mostly when I also started my PhD. But long before this, I was working in the food sector, and I was so much fascinated by the dynamic operation in the food businesses and behind the counter. It's amazing. I love it. Um, but what drives me and what keeps me motivated is actually the fact that whatever it takes to do this business, it aligns a lot with the values and my beliefs in life. So I value a lot, and I believe in the importance of honesty, ethics. Um, of course, hygiene is, I have always been like freak about hygiene. I'm so like at home with everything. So that resonate with everything I appreciate and I believe. So in food safety, when we work, we expect food businesses to have ethical consideration when they prepare food. They are committed to preparing food under safe conditions, and proper practices are being followed. That is actually ethical, and that's ethics. People who have no ethics, they won't care no matter what. So when I do this business, I know that I'm doing something that I believe in it, and I believe of having that what you call enthusiasm to promote the importance of safe practices and food safety, the adherence to rules and regulations. All these require ethical consideration, and of course, eventually honesty and transparency. So there is nothing in this field that doesn't resonate with my beliefs. You can compare it to before, when I used to work in the pharmaceutical business, for instance, and I used to make great sale. That was great. But at some stage, you would think the more sale you do, that means there are people who needs it, you know, medications. So I wasn't quite happy. I wasn't feeling excited to work in a business where it's important on one hand when
Mhm,
it comes to medications,
mhm,
but the feeling of being happy that I made a great sale at the end of the year or revenue or whatever used to be like, okay, I'm not sure I'm happy with this. That means there are many people who are affected and they need my medication, the medication of the company I'm working for. So I couldn't continue because I simply didn't find myself in that field.
mhm.
That's why, just to say what keeps me going is
That's
that
great
the,
that you share this. Yeah, everyone should know this, that whatever their heart desires in terms of their beliefs, that should be their passion.
I think it's important to know this. It's important to recognize what do you value most in life and live that. live that in your work, because otherwise, when there is no matching, you will have the conflict and you will not be happy. At least that's my experience. So that's different. In food safety and research, there is lots of space for translating my appreciation to truth and to talking about truth and to sharing information in that transparent manner, which is the pure conduct in research. And then as well in the food safety consultancy or empowerment for food safety professional, there is that drive of working towards promoting the importance of being committed to the mission of food safety, and that requires lots of ethics and pure intentions. And that is where I give it all my feeling, because I believe in it.
That's great. That's great. What is life for you in your words or in your experience? And how can one make life beautiful being in their own situation?
That's a big question. What's life in my view? It is life is that mysterious existence which we will never understand the reason for this existence. I'm not a philosopher, but I mean, I always question what is life and why we're here and what's the purpose of life. So if we observe this, I see that it looks, it's a system where we all coexist together, living things. And that coexistence is, in a way, should be in harmony. Otherwise, when we don't act in harmony, we can see the imbalance and the problems. And that is clear in the way the ecosystem works and what we see as disease and troubles in the environment, how it affects the behavior of all other living things and beings. So basically, that leads to the only meaning, in my opinion, and the way I see life. It's actually the harmony that calls for love. And when we talk about love, is taking all the experiences that we're going through, whether it's painful or beautiful or challenging, they have a meaning, and that meaning should be eventually to reach to a stage where we can see the meaning of how powerful love can be. By supporting others, coexisting with others, living with others, live and let live, helping through our work. Business is important, but we can always help as well, extend support when it's needed. So that's for me life. This harmony for all of us means love, and love means we need to work under that law, and that's the purpose. Probably we don't see it translated everywhere because we see a lot of troubles in this world that's endless, but this could be the meaning, which we should all work towards that purpose. And it takes quite lots of work on the self, lots of work on self-awareness, on cultivating that focus. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big question. I know the answer. My answer could be not really specific, but that's how I can translate my view to life.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to record this short talk. My mission
It's
is
my pleasure, Barsha.
My
Thank
mission
you.
is to share inspirational stories, inspirational personalities, and I believe that you are an inspiring personality. So
Thank you.
I approached you for this video, and thank you so much. We will
Thank
stay
you,
in touch.
Barsha. I appreciate your
Thank you.
invitation, and best of
Thank you.
luck also in your program and projects.
Thank you. Bye bye.